Instagram is a social media platform which allows its users to create an account or multiple, post photos, long videos, short videos, and very short temporary videos, tag people in them, save, like, and comment on other people's posts, message individuals or groups, like messages, delete messages, respond to specific messages, share other people's posts to these individuals or groups, or just share them with the people that bother to watch your very short videos, which you can now save, by the way. Don't like a post, report it. Don't like a person, block them. Use hashtags to categorize information and geotags to categorize location, livestream, shop, and explore custom generated content. This app does a lot and caters to a lot of people, over 1 billion in fact. So how did it all start? With this guy,
Kevin Systrom.
It's 2009 and this 27-year-old graduate from Stanford University, who has previously worked at Google and premature Twitter, has been taking coding classes in his spare time. He creates Bourbon, named after the whiskey, a web app which allows users to post plans and also
Photos,
which is pretty unique at the time. Fast forward to a party in March 2010 and a couple people start drinking up, the Bourbon prototype. Before you know it,
Kevin's got a team together.
And on this team is 25-year-old Mike Krieger, also a Stanford graduate. The two agree that the focus of their app should be shifted towards sharing mobile taken photos. They take inspiration from Hipstamatic, an app which allows users to add
filters
to photos taken from their phone camera. Many of these effects give photos a retro feel, as is the current trend, by mimicking the looks of analog cameras. The smartphone photography tidal wave starts with ripples from Hipstamatic, Apple's very first app of the year. But Hipstamatic lacks a way to easily share these photos with your friends, and this is where the messaging aspects of Facebook come in. Let's scroll back to 2004, when both Facebook and myself are born, one of us in Harvard University. Baby Facebook is a means for students to set up a personal profile page featuring some basic info about themselves. You can also use hyperlinks to show people that you have friends and to see who the friends of your friends are. It's 6 months after launch, and we can post comments on our profiles, which no one sees unless they specifically go to your profile. Now we can share photos and tag people in them and poke people?
Hey, Facebook, you're still not unique.
Except for your empty structure, which allows people to decide what they choose to add to their profile. You know? So that's pretty cool. Happy 2006. Facebook just opened up to the
world
and doesn't discriminate if you're not human.
Yay for businesses.
You can run a blog, you can post videos, you can chat to people in real time to go back to 2009. And Instagram. Remember her? Essentially, Kevin and the gang want to take the photo parts from Hipstamatic and combine them with Facebook's messaging. So they do.
We should name him Telegram.
Okay. Instagram is fine-tuned by friends for 8 weeks, then launched. It's a huge success and catches the eye of a number of investors. Sold to Facebook for $1 billion. What a bargain. Hey, can we join the party?
No. Okay.
What about us?
No. Okay.
Who is that?
Glow up.
Nice.
Wow.
Hey, mind if we just? Hey, mind if we just? Hey, mind if we just? And before you know it, your boy is the second most downloaded free app on the App Store. We can break down Instagram's positive and negative implications into 5 main categories. Instagram is hugely popular among younger generations, with 59% of 18 to 19-year-olds using the app. The positive effects of Instagram include self-expression, community building, and emotional support, which nearly 7 in 10 teens report to have received. It's a platform which allows us to maintain connected to friends and family. But is that always a good thing? Being constantly accessible to others? Contentious. What's not up for debate, however, are the negative impacts the app has on body image and sleep, in addition to increased bullying and FOMO. Collectively, these things lead to greater feelings of anxiety, depression, and loneliness. Yeesh. The unrealistic expectations set by constant exposure to picture-perfect photos of seemingly perfect lives has been shown to mainly affect younger females, who make up the largest portion of the app's audience. Social media use in general has a negative impact on both the amount of sleep people get and the quality of the sleep. Social media has paved the way for the rise of influencers. What do? They influence people within some sort of
niche,
to buy things, to go places, to think things. For some who have difficulties working a regular job, say a mum of young kids or someone with a disability, this has provided a fantastic career option which has never been there in the past. Instagram has also been highly beneficial to small businesses, allowing them to reach larger and more specific audiences through its
algorithm.
One of the industries greatly impacted by Instagram is the travel and tourism industry. Instagram has infiltrated the very core of travel, how people interact with places, where they choose to go, and the art of telling travel tales. Inspired by others' posts or an online trend, users are encouraged to visit their dream destinations, often to find that they don't live up to their expectations. Over-tourism is also an issue, which has led to environmental degradation and ultimately ruined some businesses rather than growing them. However, in many cases, Instagram has been an effective marketing tool for those in the tourism industry and has inspired countless trips through its geotagging feature. The Australian government uses Instagram a lot to communicate with the public, with Victoria alone holding 56 separate accounts. These accounts vary in purpose, but I would argue that they all have a similar effect in being sprinkled amongst the posts of friends and family. By surrounding government posts with content from people we already know and trust, there's a chance we may feel like the government is also one of our friends, hence increasing our trust and their influence. Whether this is a good thing or not probably depends on your view of the government. Regardless, it's clear they see immense value in the impact of Instagram and other social medias. They offer an instant, direct pathway to a variety of citizens who may not watch broadcasted news, in theory allowing for clear and unbiased communication. As the famous saying goes,
Instagram, a variety of ethical debates.
It's the platform best known for mass digitally edited photos, which set impossible beauty standards and life expectations. Preventing inappropriate content while maintaining freedom of speech is also a very delicate task. While some level of quality control is important in protecting people, censoring is definitely becoming more prevalent on Instagram in my opinion, as new ethical issues arise
Updates
are often added to the app. For example, as influencers became more and more popular, audiences had trouble distinguishing genuine, unbiased content from sponsored ads. So, since 2017, Instagram added to their policy that all sponsored posts must contain the hashtag ad or sponsorship. Parents publicly publishing content centered around their kids, labeled sharenting, is also a controversial topic. While some children would grow up to say that they don't mind, many are too young at the time to offer consent on what they want shared with the world. On a private account, however, Instagram can be an easy way to share these photos with family. Personally, I hope that tighter regulations are introduced into this area, as I'm nervous to see the full effects of sharenting as the children in question grow up. Instagram, like most if not all social media apps, contributes to our society's ever-shortening attention span, as reflected by the popularity of videos with a short, sharp format. From behind the safety of a screen and even anonymous profile, it's easy to exercise a disturbing amount of liberty, resulting in toxic online arguments and ruthless bullying without any accountability due to reputation. Through the ability to reach large audiences, no matter who you are, people are no longer reliant on traditional media broadcasting, in theory widening representation and beauty standards. Social media can give people a greater level of influence, but sometimes this power is put into the hands of the wrong people and false or even harmful messages are spread. Along with some of its cousins, Instagram has allowed for a new form of activism, which is fairly easy for the average individual to participate in, and has proved a successful agent of change on multiple occasions. There's no doubt the app is used to spread awareness, but to what degree does this awareness actually have an impact? Well, I believe it depends on the amount of activism consumed.
The cultivation theory
States that long-term exposure to media shapes how consumers perceive the world and conduct themselves. It also claims that the more we consume media, the closer we associate it to our reality. Though initially introduced by
George Gerber, what a great name,
in the 1960s as a study directed towards television consumption, I believe it's quite relevant to Instagram in the present. Australians spend an average of 1 hour 48 minutes a day on social media, and Instagram is the third most popular platform, so it's safe to say that we get a lot of consistent exposure to the app and its contents. Occasional exposure to minimal sources will, according to this theory, affect consumers far less than constant exposure. Just as if one random person came up to you once and said,
"All bananas are evil."
it would probably have a very small impact on you and your actions, or even none at all. But if a mob of 10,000 people said the same thing to you every day for a year,
Bananas are evil. Yeah.
you'd probably take the statement more seriously, and hence it would influence your day-to-day life to a greater extent. Instagram has really influenced the way we communicate with others and the media. Through the introduction of stories, 15-second videos which disappear after 24 hours, it's contributed to a sense of urgency in sharing mundane, everyday things, such as what you ate for breakfast, and watching the mundane, everyday things of others, such as what they ate for breakfast. This has also personalized the digital messages we consume. Like, imagine if a journalist shared something like that in their newspaper article.
That would be absurd.
Along with other social medias, Instagram has also played a role in globalization, providing glimpses of and connections to places all over the world. As I mentioned earlier, Instagram is constantly updating and adding new features to meet the demands of its consumers. Except that often, the majority of people don't actually want these updates. Over the past several years, the app's original purpose has lost focus. In trying to compete with other platforms and combine features that make those platforms desired, the app isn't maintaining its touch with its users. It's become overcrowded with features and has lost the fun and functionality previously associated with it. The addition of new features has made Instagram completely change its menu, making navigation much more confusing, inconvenient, and frustrating for users. New social media apps are always going to keep appearing. So when is Instagram gonna stop trying to be something it's not? That is, every social media app known to man. As much as all these additional features allow Instagram to squash other apps, it's also been squashing itself by making its interface so squishy. This audience feedback has been reflected in the app's declining download rate. However, while stunted in growth, the app's huge following isn't going away, and I think it'll be here to stay for a long time. For those who can cope with its overcrowdedness, Instagram provides a level of versatility that just ain't there in any other app. However, I do think it's in the app's best interest to slow down on the copying and embrace being itself to better serve an audience longing once again for simplicity.